Yeah, I mean, once you do start to get out of your comfort zone, and it can be little things, just habit changing in the beginning, sit in a different chair, take a little different route home, but eventually it gets easier and easier to take bigger steps and bigger steps.
Hey, welcome everyone to another episode of Elite Expert Insider Podcast. I'm your host today, Melanie Johnson, one of the owners of Elite Online Publishing. So, we are going to go traveling down the river today, so to speak. We have Matt Rigsby with us today. He is an author, but he also owns Medicine River Academy. I love rafting. I've only been able to do it a few times in my life, but this takes on a whole new approach of how to incorporate that into your life. We're going to learn how about never to give up, how to immerse yourself in nature and the healing properties of that. So stay tuned. We've got a lot going on in this episode and can't wait to dive in. So, Matt, thanks for coming today. Welcome.
Thanks, Melanie.
So, I know you're coming all the way from Idaho. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you get started down this path of Medicine River rafting?
Well, it's quite a story. In fact, the book outlines a lot of what I won't talk about right now. But in the '90s, I was actually a network engineer and did computer stuff. And I had a class 4 creek running through my backyard that I could kayak anytime it was flooded, which was about 50, 60 days a year, and spent my free time either in that creek or chasing rivers or rock climbing, mountain biking, just being outside. And sitting in a cubicle for a paycheck after a while really started to take its toll on me. And my dad actually passed away at 50 years old in 1999, just a sudden heart attack out of the blue, which was a real eye opener for me. And I was like, this could happen to me. So what am I waiting for? I'm spending my life doing something I don't love. And it took a little time for it to really sink in, but eventually I just knew that I couldn't be happy in that life. And I moved to West Virginia. At the time, I was living in Cincinnati, and West Virginia was just 4 hours away, Fayetteville, West Virginia, where the New River Gorge and the Gauley River are. For those that don't know, the Gauley River is the biggest whitewater that you can run commercially in the United States. And it's a big draw and it's a whole lot of fun. It's a high consequence type river, too. So, baby steps. If people are thinking about getting into whitewater, I wouldn't start there. But that's pretty much where I got my start, and I just fell in love with it. I was ski patrolling in the winter and chasing rivers in the summer, and that actually opened up all kinds of avenues that I would have never imagined whenever I was living in the corporate world. My vacations, might go to another country, but you get catered to, and you don't really get the full experience, we'll say, of living with the people and getting to immerse
Yeah.
yourself in the culture. And through the river community, I've been able to go to a lot of different countries. And the river community is a really tight knit group of people. And it's almost like a subculture that we all really look out for each other, trust each other with our lives, but we spend our days floating through nature, and any river on earth. The animals all come to the river at some point to get a drink during the day, and whenever you're quiet, whether you're being a kayak or a raft, as long as there's not a motor attached, then you're not scaring them off. You get to experience it. And it's just been a magical, magical way to spend life. I mean, the rafting season starts in the spring when all the babies are born and, everything's green. The waterfalls are pumping and the wildflowers are blooming and you get to watch the babies frolic and then kind of watch them grow up. You watch the baby birds' heads peeking over the nest whenever they you know,
Aw.
can't fly, whenever there's haven't fledged yet, and then just kind of watch them get bigger and bigger through the summer and then watch them start to fly. And it's just been, it's been magic and it really keeps me grounded too. Being in nature, I think is something that we have get further and further detached from, with modern society and all the conveniences and
Yeah, describe that for us. Like when someone does an experience with you, when they go to the Medicine River Academy, what is the experience they walk away from and the benefits they get? Like, we get so I remember spending time in New York City, and after a while, I was like, I just got to get out of this concrete jungle. I need to be attached back to nature again. What do people say when they finish an experience, a rafting experience about that?
Well, for the ones that haven't done it before, it is life changing, in a very good way. And I've had people of all ages tell me that this is the best day of their life, and they're going to proceed the rest of their life with that knowledge. You can't unknow these things once you feel it. It's in your
Mhm.
blood. And the Medicine River Academy is we just started this school last year, and it's a nonprofit, and it's focused primarily on the youth. So it's free for kids 13 to 18 years old. We take them out. We've got a 3 day or a 5 day option where we camp on the river the whole time, but we teach them how to navigate whitewater and just read the water in general. Teach them about boat maintenance. They build and tear down their own camp. They help with the cooking. We teach them about how to identify plants that are medicinal or food or just useful, because there's this stuff's growing all around us. Like, try to kind of get them away from the pharmaceutical companies a little bit, because the medicine that we need really is provided by the earth, and it's all around us. In fact, the name of the school, the Medicine River Academy, came from the local Shoshone tribe, Shoshone and Nez Perce, that are from this area here, called it the Medicine River. It's the Salmon River on the map, which a lot of people may have heard of the Salmon River. It's pretty famous, and it's a really, really special place. And
Yeah.
I've been on rivers all over the planet, and like the energy here is amazing. And the river really is potent medicine. And I believe all rivers are medicine, but this one in particular. And yeah,
Yeah, you can
we
really get a good vibe from when you're out in nature and you feel the water. It's just it is totally different energy.
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's so much fun to watch people just lose time. Like, I feel like that's when you're in the zone, is whenever you don't know what time it is, don't care what time it is, and daytime and nighttime is really all that matters when you're on the river, and
Now, can
time.
adults do this too? Do you have an adult program?
We do. Yeah. It's not free, but we do have a 3 day course for adults, and we teach them all the same skill sets.
Oh,
In fact, we take people that have never been on the river a lot, and that's the target audience, I guess, would be folks that have never been exposed to this type of thing.
yes.
And it's just amazing whenever you get, a group of kids that have never been on the river before, and we don't guide for them. We just sit in the boat and we tell them what to do. And each day the river just naturally gets a little more difficult. So the
Right.
progression happens easy and it's not scary for them. The only scary part is the unknown before they get here, like, what are we doing? It's
Dangerous? Do you feel like it's dangerous? I mean,
I think it's dangerous when people do it without any education.
okay.
But the way we do it, so we start out, it's basically class 1, class 2, and the river classifications go up to 6 is the highest, but it's considered commercially unrunnable. Yeah, 6 is too much for training for sure. Even experts shouldn't really be fooling around with that, but
Yeah.
it's just basically calm moving water, with some
Yeah.
rocks in the way for the first 2 days, and then we start getting into a little bit more technical water where they have to maneuver more. But we have an instructor in the boat with them that just tells them what to do, and then that's how the confidence and the empowerment happens, is through them doing it themselves, rather than listening and watching a YouTube video and thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna try this," or
Yeah.
but
Well, you
by
talk
the
about in your "Don't Fight It, Just Ride It" book, you talk about breaking through your comfort zone. Do you think that happens during the trip? Is this part of the program?
100%. Yeah. Yeah. It definitely is about breaking through your comfort zones. And everybody's comfort zones are different, and a lot of people just look at something like, say, a river that they've never been on as just this massive undertaking and super scary. We only hear about the stories that are tragic. There might be a million successful trips down a river, but the one bad one is the one that people hear about. So that's what's stuck in their head. And once they get out here and experience, they, take that step out of their comfort zone and find that it's a lot of magic to be had out here outside of your comfort zone.
And you talk about too about teaching people in your book how to never give up. What are some of your tips? Because so many of us get in that rut where we try something, we might get halfway through, maybe only 25% through, and then we just stop. Like the obstacles come in our way and we just give up.
Yeah, so that I think is an addiction to comfort.
Ah,
So, yeah, I think we should seek discomfort on some level, but we just I lost my train of thought there.
that's okay. We were
What was your
talking about
again?
never giving up really,
Oh,
and
yeah,
once you're
never
on the river, you can't really stop. I mean, you gotta go till you're at the end of the thing, so you're kind of stuck there. You don't have a choice probably to turn around.
yeah, exactly. And it's the give the not giving up part gets real easy whenever you're just get used to leaving your comfort zone, right? And then you get
Yeah,
this confidence that comes from knowing that you didn't give up and something actually worked and came through. Now, some things maybe we should give up on, I believe check in with your heart. I like to
mhm,
picture a staircase going from my head down to my heart and
yeah,
walking down each one of those steps to the door, open it, close it, and then think about should I proceed or not. But
yeah,
the heart never lies, and the heart will probably tell you, yeah, keep trying. But we tend to just go back to our comfort, and it causes stagnation and lack of growth, and it causes boredom. I also believe that discomfort causes disease because we just sit and we overindulge in things that bring us comfort. Gluttony is a word for that, but I think it also just keeps you from being an independent thinker. It creates a follow the leader syndrome. I'm comfortable with these things that these people put in place for me.
yeah,
And so then you just follow those things that give you a little bit of comfort or some instant gratification. But in the long run, it's not rewarding, I don't believe, to follow the leader, and it stifles creativity and just keeps
and that's
piling up.
yeah, it does. You really gotta stretch yourself, and then, I think I know when I'm in nature, it kind of clears my head, and new ideas pop in all the time. I'm thinking, "Oh, like, I could do this, I could do that." It's like all of a sudden you get clarity, I think, when you're away from your environment and you're in nature, and you talk about a little bit in the description of your book about endless possibilities. Tell us, how do you feel like that we tap into endless possibilities?
Well, by leaving the comfort zone.
It all starts with the comfort zone, right? Getting into
First,
different thing, yeah, and whether it's rafting or something else.
yeah, I mean, once you do start to get out of your comfort zone, and it can be little things, just habit changing in the beginning, sit in a different chair, take a little different route home, but eventually it gets easier and easier to take bigger steps and bigger steps. And in the effort to practice what I preach, my wife and I we own a rafting company here as well as the school. We're in the process of selling the rafting company so that we can move on to a sailboat. And starting, yeah, after summer's over this year, we're going to move on to a boat and just sail for 9 months out of the year. I want to sail around the world at least once. And a big part of this is leaving my comfort zone. I'm not a sailor. I live in the middle of Idaho. It just feels like something that I have to do. And the fact that it is scary means that I really have to do it, just face your fear and live your dream kind of thing.
That's definitely getting out of your comfort zone. Oh my gosh, yeah, doing that for sure. That you are practicing what you preach, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in your book, Don't Fight It and Just Write It, what do you think when someone closes your book is the main message they're gonna get out of it? Is there something else besides get out of your comfort zone that they're gonna get out of the book?
Yeah, the importance, as you mentioned, as the connection with nature. Like we are nature. We're made out of the same stuff,
Mhm.
100%. And there's a big disconnect right now, with modern technology in the big cities and the concrete jungles, and people are so detached that they don't seek out the connection with nature. But as you mentioned before, once people do it and they feel it, all the way through every cell in their body, like this feels right, this feels good. And it helps you realign everything. And so the more time you spend in nature, not only will it create a bigger appreciation, but you will just be more in line, more in flow. Life works better. Things aren't scary. You have a much different approach to it when you're grounded. And it definitely, there's a lot of science that proves that it's healthier. People that spend a lot of time outside don't have near the medical problems and physical problems that a lot of folks that spend their life indoors have. Grounding, I don't know if you're familiar with this
Yeah.
topic. Yeah, it's been kind of a big topic for the last few years, and just connecting with the earth, take your shoes off, go lay in the grass. But that natural process that we evolved with for eons, through the connection with the planet has been lost whenever
Mhm.
we just put on our shoes, walk out the door, and jump in our air conditioned car, go to our air conditioned job, and go back to our air conditioned house. And we're not really experiencing anything natural in that process.
Yeah, we're
And
going from one box to another box.
yeah, yeah, it doesn't have to be that way. A lot of people think that it does, but it really doesn't. I mean, we let other people tell us what our priorities should be, like I'm supposed to make this much money so that I can have this car or this house and these
Mhm.
things. And we're comparing ourselves to others whenever, in that world. But once you detach from that enough and you spend a lot of time in nature, you stop caring what other people think, stop
Yeah.
caring about what they're wearing, don't even notice what they're wearing because I'm not paying attention to that anymore, right? I'm talking to the trees over here or whatever.
I think eating does that for you too. You start to care a little bit less about things. You realize what's more important. And yeah, and I'm all about that. I'm a big gardener. I love having a beautiful yard with a lot of plants. And down here, I'm in Houston, Texas. So I have a lot of tropical things and fruit trees. And I just love that. That's one of my main things that I do every day, unless the weather's really bad, is to go outside. That's the first thing I want to do is go outside, check on my garden, see what's growing, see what's blooming, what needs to be tended to, and I think it just does something. It gives you a little shift. Well, tell people where they can reach out to you, Matt. I know you're changing your business, it sounds like this year, but I'm sure there's somewhere where they can reach out to you.
Yeah, well, the school is medicineriver.org, and we do a course for adults, and the course for kids is free, adults is not. And through that website, you can find our phone number and contact information, email, and stuff like that. And we are a nonprofit. So if you want to contribute in any way, that would be awesome as well. And yeah, the new mission, rather than just taking people rafting, is to teach the kids to be fully in tune with nature and start a path forward with a healthier, grounded mindset, which should benefit society and the planet.
I think that's so important today with all the technology going on. Get it out of our hands and out of and stop and having it in front of our faces all day to just really reboot yourself. So I love it. Check it out, everyone. I want to go too. Sounds like something I'm like, oh, I could take my kids there. That would be fun. We could do it all together. So it seems like a
Absolutely.
great family vacation as well. I'm not great at camping though. I'm more of a glamper than camper, but we'll have to. I'm sure there's something to do that.
Camping
All right.
next to the river is special.
I bet it is. Well, check it out, everyone. Thanks for joining us. And then if you're looking to write a book, reach out to us at eliteonlinepublishing.com. We make all our authors #1 bestsellers. We'll see you next time. Have a great week, everybody. And remember to subscribe and like our channel. See you next time. Hey, are you looking to increase your revenue, build credibility, and elevate your brand? This podcast is brought to you by Elite Online Publishing, an innovative publishing and full spectrum marketing company. They will publish and market your book to make it a #1 bestseller. Becoming an author is the best way to market your business. So contact them at eliteonlinepublishing.com today. All of their authors become #1 bestsellers.